So you think you're booking a cheap Central American backpacking trip.
Think again.
You're not. You think you're getting those postcard-perfect white sand beaches like you saw in Cancun.
Nope.
You are going to be staring at, well, mostly seagrass and a lot of boat docks. And if you think $50 a day is going to get you a private room, a steady flow of cocktails, and access to world-class diving in Belize.
Wow, you are in for a very, very swift and rude financial awakening.
But that stark reality is, I think, only half the picture.
It is. It's only half. Because the other half is this. You are getting a country that uniquely marries the laid-back, infectious rhythm of the Caribbean soul with the deep, haunting mystery of the ancient Maya world.
It's a fascinating mix.
This isn't Mexico, and it is certainly not Guatemala. Belize is its own specific, colorful flavor.
That is the beautiful, expensive core conflict we are diving into today. Our mission is to completely break down Belize, the good, the bad, and the balance sheet.
Yeah.
Specifically, we are drilling down into the logistics, the budgeting realities, and understanding exactly why this country is so deceptively pricey.
And we're focusing on the most competitive time to go, which also means the most expensive. We're talking the dry season.
Right.
Late December all the way through April, but really hitting those peak perfect months of, say, February and March.
Right.
The weather is flawless, the seas are clear, but the price point,
Oh, it bites.
it bites harder than the sand flies. We'll definitely be warning you about later.
Okay, we have to start with the bold thesis right out of the gate, so you, the listener, can kind of reframe your expectations immediately. Belize is, without a doubt, the most deceptively expensive country in Central America.
It really is.
If you don't navigate the logistics we're about to share, you can accidentally spend a Hawaii budget here for what feels like a profoundly, and I mean profoundly, rustic experience.
And to make this actionable, we need to clearly define the traveler profiles we are addressing, because your experience here is, well, it's entirely dependent on your wallet size.
Absolutely. We have two key budgets we are benchmarking against. First, there is the absolute relentless backpacker.
The grind.
The grind. This is the traveler striving to hit that $50 USD per day maximum. They need to know precisely where the financial landmines are buried because they are everywhere.
And then we have the sweet spot, the mid-range traveler. This is the person focused on comfortable boutique stays and, crucially, being able to afford the iconic day tours that truly define Belize.
Okay.
They are budgeting somewhere between $150 to $250 a day, and our mission for them is to determine what kind of genuine value they are actually extracting for that, that significant investment.
I'm your guide, handling the necessary logistics, the value analysis, and the brutal wallet damage assessment.
And I'm here to cover the historical context, the on-the-ground experience, and why those high-cost experiences are often worth every single dollar.
Okay, let's unpack this and jump right into the financial gravity of the place.
So why is Belize such an outlier? I mean, if you look at it on a map, it's this tiny little chunk of Central America, right? It's nestled between Mexico and Guatemala.
Right.
But culturally, historically, and financially, it's closer to an English-speaking Caribbean island.
And that context is absolutely foundational to understanding the costs. Belize was British Honduras until 1981.
Not that long ago.
Not long at all, making it the only country in the region where English is the official language, spoken fluently by, everyone in the tourism sector.
That is the single most crucial financial distinction. That historical tie makes travel incredibly straightforward for North Americans. You land, and the language barrier, which is a major source of stress, time, and logistical confusion in, say, El Salvador or Honduras.
It's just gone.
It's just gone.
And that convenience, that ease of communication, it comes with an immediate and, I have to say, non-negotiable financial implication.
Which is?
The pricing structure is tethered directly to the U.S. dollar.
Exactly. It's a fixed, long-standing rate. 2 Belize dollars equals 1 U.S. dollar, period. This dollar-pegged stability means they will accept your U.S. currency everywhere.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that mental math on fluctuating exchange rates, but the prices you see posted reflect the stability and purchasing power of the U.S. dollar.
But I have to push back a little on the convenience factor. While the ease is undeniable, doesn't that familiarity actually dilute the travel experience for some? You mentioned the chaotic, gritty discovery feel found in neighboring places. If you are a traveler who seeks out those hard-earned aha moments that come from navigating a complex Spanish-speaking bus system, Belize just, well, it takes that away.
That's a fair challenge.
Yeah.
It is a double-edged sword for sure. You are paying for the path of least resistance.
Right.
You don't have the adventure of trying to find the correct bus terminal while using a phrase book, but you gain efficiency. And that efficiency, that safety, that instant communication is priced at a premium.
So the price you pay in Belize reflects the cost of doing business in a country that is largely importing goods and services based on U.S. dollar values.
Plus, the premium for serving a high-spending, English-speaking tourist base that expects that ease.
That economic foundation brings us right back to the seasonality. We are focusing on the dry season, late December through April, especially those windows in January, February, and March. And this timing is, it's inextricably linked to the higher cost.
You are paying for weather certainty. This perfect window with low rain probability, low humidity, and clear seas, it forces you to pay for the privilege of experiencing Belize at its absolute best.
Because if you miss that window, say, you hit the heart of the wet season in September or October, Belize can be genuinely challenging.
Oh, miserable.
The humidity is oppressive, often hitting 100%. The mosquitoes become a significant quality of life issue.
A huge one.
And those famous dirt roads leading into the interior, connecting you to the Mayan ruins and the cave.
They get completely washed out.
Totally washed out, making transit via shuttle or rental car extremely difficult, if not impassable, without a serious 4x4.
So if you choose the shoulder seasons or the wet season for cost savings, you have to accept a potentially miserable, logistically frustrating experience. Travelers who pay top dollar in February are paying for the guarantee of sun and smooth travel.
Okay, now let's tackle the biggest expectations management issue in Belize, one that sinks many people's hopes when they first arrive. The beach reality check.
Yeah, this is a big one.
Forget the Instagram hype of endless, pristine white sand beaches.
You must remember, Belize has the second largest barrier reef in the world. It's a spectacular environmental asset, a world treasure, but it dictates the entire coastline.
And that reef serves as a massive natural breakwater. It protects the shore from the powerful, crashing waves and currents that are necessary to naturally erode and churn the sand.
The kind of waves that create those wide, soft, white beaches you find in, say, the Mexican Caribbean further north. Without that churning action, what settles near the shore is exactly what you don't want. Seagrass.
Lots and lots of it.
Tons of it. It's
Yeah.
a healthy ecosystem, it's vital for marine life, but it creates a murky, soft-bottomed entry point into the water right off the beach.
So the immediate shoreline, unless you are at very specific manicured resort tips that constantly rake and import sand, is not where you swim. You need to manage that expectation. You are not walking barefoot off the sand into turquoise perfection like you might expect.
The standard swimming experience here involves walking out on a dock,
Right.
often a few hundred feet long, which takes you past the shallow seagrass beds and directly to the deep, clear water. You jump off the dock, you don't walk in from the sand.
And then there is the truly foul problem of sargassum.
Yeah.
This is a massive issue plaguing the entire Caribbean, and Belize is not immune. This rotting seaweed washes in, piles up sometimes feet deep, and during certain predictable times of the year, it is a genuine logistical and olfactory nightmare.
Olfactories are the right word. When that sargassum starts decomposing, it releases hydrogen sulfide gas. To put it plainly, if you pay hundreds of dollars for an oceanfront cabana and the sargassum is washing in heavy,
Your porch will smell like rotten eggs.
it is pervasive. It's awful.
This is a non-negotiable warning. You must check the current sargassum reports before finalizing your bookings, especially if you are paying a premium for that beachfront view.
For sure. A beach view that smells like sulfur is not a premium experience.
No, it is not.
But the trade-off, however, is worth stating again. The reef ecosystem is protected and vibrant, making the offshore activities, snorkeling, diving, fishing, absolutely world-class. You are paying for the underwater and the offshore experience, not the immediate shoreline.
Let's move you through the arrival process, because this is where the theory of high cost becomes a sudden, painful reality. You land at Philip Goldson International, BZAE.
It's a relatively small, efficient airport, but the moment you step off that air-conditioned plane and hit the tarmac, the air hits you. It's that thick tropical humidity, smelling of sweet air and jet fuel, and you immediately start sweating.
You clear customs, and then you face the first financial reckoning, ground transport. There is no Uber, no Lyft, and the local taxi situation operates on a strict, high, fixed-rate system. You are captive.
You are. For most tourists, especially those heading to the islands, you were going straight from BZE to the water taxi terminal in Belize City.
Right.
That is a quick 20-minute, non-negotiable ride, and it will cost you somewhere between 25 and 30 US dollars.
Okay, so if you are the backpacker striving for that $50 daily budget, you have just blown half your entire day's money in a 20-minute car ride.
Gone.
That's an immediate, jarring financial kick that sets the tone. It makes the rest of the day finding a cheap meal, finding a cheap dorm feel like a desperate scramble.
And people always ask, why is it so expensive? A few reasons. First, the lack of competition. No ride sharing. Second, the distance from the city center means there's a premium for the drivers to leave the airport queue.
But mostly, it's just the standard set price reflecting that dollar-pegged tourism economy. They know you are coming, and they know you need to get to the water taxi.
Exactly. This cost reinforces our thesis immediately. Basic, non-luxury services in Belize are priced at an American standard.
And this brings up a crucial warning about Belize City itself.
Yes.
The first impression is gritty. It feels worn down, and outside of a few government buildings and historical areas, it is absolutely not designed for casual, meandering tourism.
My first and most critical logistical advice is this. Treat Belize City strictly as a transit hub.
100%.
Land at BZE, grab the expensive taxi, go straight to the water taxi terminal, and get on the first available boat. Tourists are strongly advised not to wander or linger in the city, especially in specific non-touristy zones like the South Side, which is known for its high crime rate, as we'll discuss later.
Once you're at the terminal, you'll experience the famous water taxi vibe shift. Most people use the San Pedro Belize Express. It's chaotic, yes. They'll cram your massive backpack right into the front, and you'll be squeezed onto a bench seat with 30 other people.
But the second those engines roar to life and you push off the mainland, everything changes. The oppressive mainland air disappears, and you hit that brilliant, impossible turquoise of the Caribbean Sea.
That is the moment the trip actually begins.
It is.
Yeah.
The travel fatigue evaporates. It's the visual, immediate payoff for that initial transport expense.
And that water taxi ride itself is another accumulating cost. It's roughly 20 to 35 USD round trip, depending on whether you opt for an open or reserved seat in your destination, Kai Cocker or San Pedro.
Okay, let's talk about those two island behemoths because they offer wildly different atmospheres, yet both share that sudden price shock.
For sure.
Caye Caulker is the mid-range and backpacker spiritual home. The motto is go slow.
Literally written everywhere.
Everywhere. There are no cars, only golf carts and bikes. The streets are packed sand, the vibe is perpetually chill, and the whole island feels contained and walkable. It's the perfect place to decompress.
But even here, in the supposed budget-friendly hub, the financial reality lands with a thump. If you're the backpacker looking for an affordable lunch, you quickly realize, I am not in Guatemala anymore. You see a basic burger advertised, not a gourmet one, a basic one for 12 US dollars. A simple rum punch cocktail at a local bar, $10.
That is the moment the true cost sinks in. You are paying prices comparable to a major resort town or even a high-cost American city for an experience that is physically rustic. The simple act of ordering a cocktail is a budget calculation in itself.
Yet the one thing that provides consistently high value, regardless of the price, is the Belizean hospitality. I found the locals to be warm, genuinely helpful, direct, and often very funny.
I agree. They don't give you the overly polished, slightly impersonal service you find at mega resorts designed to churn out tourists. Belizean hospitality is authentic. They joke with you, they are honest about the difficulties, and they are proud of their country.
Yeah.
That feeling of real connection and low hassle definitely factors into the premium you pay. It feels like you're interacting with people, not simply staff.
Okay, time to get down to the hard mathematics. We need to define exactly what is possible on these budgets, what is a struggle, and where the true value proposition lies.
Let's start with the one that feels genuinely punitive. The backpacker. $50 USD day max.
This is a tough one. Sticking to this budget in Belize is an existential grind compared to any other country in Central America.
Look at the accommodation alone. In Mexico, you can reliably find a clean dorm bed for $10. In Guatemala, $8.
Yeah.
In Caye Caulker or San Ignacio, you are looking at 15 to 25 US dollars minimum for a dorm bed. That immediately consumes 30 to 50% of your total daily allowance before you've even had breakfast.
Wow. Therefore, the food strategy must be absolutely uncompromising. You cannot entertain the idea of sit-down
Well,
restaurants.
way.
If you walk into an establishment with tablecloths, you have failed the $50 challenge.
Survival hinges on the street food economy. Your breakfast must be the glorious fried jack.
Oh, the fried
It's a
jacks!
piece of deep-fried dough, light and puffy, usually stuffed with beans and cheese, maybe a tiny bit of ham. It is filling, authentic, delicious, and costs $1 to $2. That's your morning fuel.
And for dinner, you are hunting down the street stalls or local shacks selling the national staple, stewed chicken with rice and
The
beans.
classic.
It is excellent tender chicken stewed in a rich gravy, often served with a scoop of potato salad. And it's affordable, typically $5 to $7, but you will eat this almost every single night. Variety is a luxury you cannot afford.
Transport-wise, the backpacker must endure the famous chicken buses.
Oh boy.
These are refurbished, often highly decorated former U.S. school buses. They're loud, the windows are open, which means you get dusty or wet.
They're boiling hot.
Boiling hot, and they stop constantly to pick up and drop off people, chickens, or huge sacks of produce.
They are agonizingly slow, but they are cheap. You can cross half the country, say, from Belize City to San Ignacio for maybe $5.
They demand patience, but they save your budget. The trade-off is time. They dramatically slow down any ambitious itinerary. If you're trying to maximize your limited vacation time, this transport will be a constant source of stress.
But the single biggest limitation, the one that truly makes the $50 budget a failure, is the activity constraint.
This is the kicker.
The whole point of Belize is the reef and the caves. You cannot afford them. A 2-tank dive, $150.
That is 3 full days of your budget instantly incinerated.
You are relegated to free activities, snorkeling off the public split on Kaikalker, maybe renting a cheap bike, or affording one single half-day tour maxing out at $40.
Right.
If you come to Belize and miss the ATM cave or a deep reef dive, you have missed the entire justification for the trip's high cost.
The conclusion for the $50 budget is indeed stark. It is an exhausting grind where you are constantly saying no to the best parts of the country. If this is your budget, go to Guatemala or Nicaragua, where $50 is a comfortable daily spend.
Okay, let's breathe and move into the sweet spot. The mid-range traveler, $150 to $250 USD day. This is where Belize starts to make sense, but we still need to scrutinize the value proposition, especially for accommodation.
For $100 to $150 a night, you can secure a private cabana or a boutique room. It will likely be described as rustic chic. You will get AC, which is mandatory for comfort, and possibly access to a small pool.
But let's dive into why that $150 room is considered rustic chic and not just plain nice. I've seen this personally.
Okay.
You are paying $150 for thin walls that let in generator noise from the neighboring hotel. You are getting plumbing that might struggle with hot water reliability. The mosquito screens on the windows often don't quite fit, requiring strategic towel stuffing.
The crucial value verdict here is Belize offers poor value for accommodation infrastructure compared to locations like the Mexican Riviera Maya.
No question.
In Tulum, $150 gets you clean, modern design, reliable hot water, and silent AC. In San Pedro, $150 buys you charm, a great location, and a persistent background noise, because you are paying for the access and the lack of crowds, not the luxury amenities.
This budget does allow for a comfortable food and drink allowance, though, around $60 a day. You can enjoy sit-down dinners, afford the fresh catch of the day.
Lobster when it's in season.
Exactly. And relax with a few cocktails without constantly calculating the exchange rate.
Transport becomes easier, too. The mid-range traveler utilizes shared air-conditioned shuttles inland, which cost $25 to $40 per leg, cutting travel time and enhancing comfort significantly compared to the chicken bus experience.
But here is where the infrastructure cost hits the mid-range budget hard. The golf cart rental trap on Ambergris Cay.
Oh, San Pedro.
We mentioned the price, $50 to $70 per day. I have to ask, why are these motorized golf carts rivaling the price of renting a full sedan in the U.S.?
It boils down to limited supply, high demand, and punishing import taxes. Everything motorized, especially specialized vehicles like these carts, is imported, driving the cost up dramatically.
And they have a captive audience.
The local economy knows tourists need them because San Pedro is too large and busy to walk everywhere comfortably, so they charge what the market will bear. It's a massive budget killer, an essential item that instantly eats up a third of your mid-range daily budget just for transportation.
But I want to pivot back to the value equation for a moment and challenge the premise of poor value. Yes, the infrastructure is expensive and rustic, but when you factor in the value of the experience.
Ah, yes, the value shifts dramatically when we talk about experiences. This is the key strategic insight for the mid-range traveler. You scrimp on the room, you accept the rustic reality, and you splurge aggressively on the tours.
Exactly. The ATM cave tour is $125 to $150. A major dive or snorkel trip is $150. These are high initial costs, but the quality, the uniqueness, and the level of guiding and conservation you receive justify the price tag entirely.
You are paying for unforgettable memories, not thread count.
That's a great way to put it. And let's not forget the currency logistics. US dollars are king. The fixed rate to BZD to 1 USD means you don't need to stress about currency exchange.
And a pro tip, avoid exchanging money at the airport where rates are predatory. Just bring small U.S. bills, ones, fives, tens, and 20s.
Yes.
You pay in USD and you receive your change back in BZD. It's seamless, which, again, is part of the premium low-friction travel.
Okay, we've established the price. Now let's talk about the three major logistics traps that ruin itineraries, especially for those trying to cram too much into a week.
Trap number 1, the base camp fallacy. This is the most common mistake made by travelers looking at a map of tiny Belize.
They see the cays like Kai Kalker and they think, great, I'll stay there the whole time and just commute inland for a day to see the jungle and the Mayan ruins.
Terrible idea.
This assumption is fatal to your itinerary. Let's map out a hypothetical day of commuting. You wake up at 5:30 a.m. to catch the 7 a.m. water taxi back to Belize City.
That's an hour right there.
Then you wait for your shuttle or bus, which leaves at 8:30. You drive 2.5 hours inland to San Ignacio. You arrive, exhausted, at 11 a.m. You've already spent 5 hours commuting before your full-day tour even begins.
And by the time the tour's over at 4 p.m., you have to reverse the entire process. You get back to the island past 8 p.m. completely wiped out. You just wasted a full day, spent 6 to 8 hours in transit, and you're too tired to enjoy the island's nightlife.
The fix is non-negotiable. You must split the trip.
You have to.
Commit to 3 to 4 days inland, perhaps near San Ignacio, to truly experience the jungles, the caves, and the rivers. Then spend 3 to 4 days on Kayakalker or Placencia for the sea, diving and relaxing.
Yes, moving your luggage twice is a mild logistical headache, but it saves you hours of grueling commuting time.
Okay, trap number 2. The San Pedro is a chill beach town trap.
San Pedro on Ambergris Cay is the most commercialized and largest destination. People hear Cay and expect the same tranquil, packed sand streets as Cay Caulker.
And that couldn't be further from the truth. San Pedro is a busy, developed town. It is characterized by persistent, annoying golf cart traffic jams.
Oh, the traffic.
There is loud construction noise everywhere. The in-town beaches are often non-existent or completely blocked by docks and boat traffic, making swimming difficult.
The fix. Understand what San Pedro is actually for. It is the hub for high-end dining, luxury resorts that are isolated north of the town center, and nightlife.
Exactly.
If you want true tranquility, no cars, and walking everywhere, you must go to Cay Caulker.
Right.
If you want actual swimmable beaches, skip the Cays altogether and head south to Placencia or Hopkins.
And trap number 3, the Sunday shutdown. This is purely a timing and budgeting trap involving national transit.
On Sundays, everything slows down. Public buses run on a highly reduced schedule, and many of the popular shared shuttle services cease operations entirely or only run early in the morning.
The risk is high. If you schedule your departure from your inland resort in San Ignacio to BZE Airport on a Sunday afternoon, you could find yourself completely stranded.
Mm-hmm.
Your only recourse might be calling a private last-minute taxi, a highly expensive service that could run you $150 or more, purely because of poor logistical planning.
The fix is simple. Plan any major cross-country transport for a weekday. If Sunday travel is unavoidable, pre-book a reliable private transfer through your hotel well in advance to avoid the panic and the extortionate last-minute price gouging.
Let's shift gears to essentials. We need to talk about gear and connectivity.
Your essential must-bring list is short but crucial. High-concentration DCE bug spray and certified reef-safe sunscreen.
Listen closely on the sunscreen. Due to import costs and the reef-safe requirement, buying quality sunscreen locally is genuinely extortionate.
It's crazy.
You will pay upwards of $25 a bottle easily if you have to buy it at a tourist shop on Cay Caulker. Bring enough from home for your entire trip or you will regret it.
Regarding connectivity, hotel Wi-Fi is generally adequate for basic tasks, email, social media, light browsing. But if you're a digital nomad needing reliable bandwidth for a crucial Zoom call,
Good luck.
the quality often fluctuates wildly, especially during peak usage times. For the best and most consistent coverage, particularly if you are diving out near the outer atolls, we strongly recommend purchasing a local DG SIM card upon arrival.
Now, safety. We need to address the elephant in the room. If you look up Belize's murder rate, the statistics are frightening.
They are. But context is everything here. Those shocking murder rates are heavily skewed by concentrated gang violence, almost exclusively focused in non-touristy, economically depressed zones in Belize City, specifically the south side.
As a tourist in the main areas, Cape Calker, San Ignacio, Placencia, you generally feel incredibly safe.
You do.
Cape Calker, especially, feels like a small village. You can comfortably walk alone at night. The safety level is a huge part of the country's high-cost appeal.
However, this is not a place to be careless. Petty theft is a genuine risk, particularly opportunistic theft. Do not leave your phone or sunglasses sitting unattended in the cubby of your rented golf cart.
No.
Do not leave your beach bag while you jump into the water. Vigilance against opportunistic theft is mandatory.
But the greatest danger to the average sun-seeking tourist is, ironically, not other humans.
It's the environment.
It's the environment itself.
Right.
First, the sun. It is equatorial and vicious. You can get a first-degree burn in 15 minutes if you are not prepared. Reapply, reapply, reapply.
Second, dehydration. The humidity is intense, and if you are enjoying the local rum punch, which, let's face it, you probably are, alcohol accelerates dehydration.
For sure.
You must drink water constantly. If you wait until you feel thirsty, you're already behind.
Third, the roads. If you rent a car inland, which is only really necessary for specific family itineraries, you must respect the sleeping policeman.
These are not gentle speed bumps. They are massive, unmarked, asphalt-shattering obstacles.
They're brutal.
They're often placed right after curves or dips, giving you zero warning. Hitting one of these at speed will destroy your rental car suspension and potentially injure you. Approach every town and curve with extreme caution.
And finally, the greatest enemy to comfort, sandflies or no-see-ums.
Oh, they're the worst.
Seriously, they are worse than mosquitoes.
They are microscopic, they live in the sand, and they are most active around sunset. The problem is you don't feel the initial bite. They swarm you, especially if you're relaxing on the beach and you don't feel a thing.
The truly awful, agonizing part is the delayed immune response. 12 hours later, usually the morning after, you wake up covered in dozens of red welts that look worryingly like chickenpox.
And the itching.
The itching is relentless, often lasting 2 to 3 days, and it genuinely ruins sleep.
Your strategy must be twofold. First, high DEET. Second, the local remedy, which is often the most effective. Baby oil mixed with camphor. The oil creates a physical barrier that traps the tiny flies before they can bite. Or, simply, wear long pants and socks religiously between 5:30 and 7 p.m. Do not underestimate these tiny terrors.
Now we get to the segment that justifies the entire cost of the trip. If you pay the premium, these are the high-reward activities you are unlocking.
Number 1, the centerpiece of the entire country, the reason why you booked the flight. Aktuntunikilmukna, or the ATM Cave.
This is not just a tourist attraction. It is an archaeological site and a profound, intense physical commitment.
It really is. You cannot access it without a licensed guide, and the experience itself takes you deep into the Maya underworld.
You start with a 45-minute hike through the jungle, requiring you to cross several rivers. Then you arrive at the cave mouth and immediately plunge into the water.
It's a shock to the system. The water is cool, almost cold. You then spend the next hour wading and swimming through the pitch-dark, waist-deep water inside the cave.
The guides are essential here, as you are scrambling over slippery rocks, relying entirely on your headlamp. Eventually, you emerge into the dry, crystalline upper chamber, where you are forced to remove your shoes to protect the priceless artifacts.
And that's where the haunting spiritual journey begins. You are walking amongst 1,000-year-old Maya ceramics, tools, and, crucially, the calcified remains of sacrificial victims, including the famous Crystal Maiden.
Wow.
These are human skeletons glittering under the flashlight beam fused to the rock by centuries of mineral deposits.
The greatest feature of the ATM Cave Tour, in my opinion, is the strict no cameras allowed rule.
Yes.
They enforce this religiously. It forces you, the traveler, to be entirely present. You are witnessing a profound historical moment, untouched, unphotographed, which makes the memory exponentially stronger.
Absolutely. It costs $125 to $150,
Yeah.
and I consider it a top 5 lifetime travel experience anywhere in the world.
My other high-reward experience is the adrenaline rush of the sea. Shark Ray Alley.
This is accessible and instantly gratifying. You jump off the boat into clear, shallow water that is absolutely swarming with nurse sharks and massive southern stingrays.
It sounds chaotic, but it is controlled.
It is. The nurse sharks are docile, and the stingrays glide right past you. It is a total sensory overload and an immediate shot of adrenaline that requires zero diving experience. You just have to be able to swim and stomach being surrounded by dozens of large, beautiful animals.
Okay, now for the painful part. The high-cost disappointments. The experiences that demand high cost or time investment, but fail to deliver on the hype.
I will stand by my critique of the Great Blue Hole flyover. Yes, it is iconic. Yes, the drone shots are incredible, but the cost-to-value ratio is fundamentally broken for most travelers.
It costs upwards of $250 for an hour-long flight.
Right. You circle it maybe 3 or 4 times, you get your obligatory distant photos, and then it's over. You spend more time in transit to and from the airfield than you do actually looking at the landmark.
If you are the mid-range traveler trying to stretch that budget, cut this immediately.
Do it. The feeling of being inside the ATM cave or swimming in the reef is worth exponentially more than the distant, fleeting aerial view.
And my nomination for the purest tourist trap in Belize is, hands down, Secret Beach on Ambergris Cay.
The name is the ultimate deception. It promises tranquility and hidden beauty.
And the reality starts with the journey. You rent that expensive golf cart and endure a 45-minute, back-breaking, spine-shattering ride on a road that is barely maintained just to get there.
And when you arrive, it is decidedly not secret. It is a pure, commercialized party cove. It's a row of loud, tacky bars blasting bad EDM music.
Ugh.
They have submerged tables so you can drink your overpriced beer in the water, but the whole atmosphere is loud, raucous, and completely devoid of the natural charm or solitude that people expect from a secret beach.
So if you want a full-on party with high prices, great. If you want nature...
Avoid this at all costs.
Yeah. Okay, if our analysis has you thinking that Belize is too expensive for your style, or if you want to pair this high-cost destination with a more affordable counterpart, let's explore the alternatives.
For the budget-conscious traveler seeking a similar rustic Caribbean vibe and critically cheap diving, look across to the Corn Islands, Nicaragua.
They are logistically harder to reach, requiring a flight from Managua followed by a ferry. But once you are on Little Corn Island, everything is half the price of Belize.
Half the price. There are no cars, the diving is superb, and yes, you can get those famous lobster dinners for $10 US. It provides the low-hassle, high-reward Caribbean feel at a true Central American price point.
If your priority is affordable history, culture, and ancient ruins, Guatemala is the inevitable and correct answer.
For sure.
Specifically, the areas around Flores and the legendary Tikal ruins. This allows for the perfect hybrid itinerary. Fly into BZE Airport, but instead of paying for the water taxi, grab the cheap public bus or shared shuttle immediately across the border to Flores, Guatemala. It's a manageable 3 to 4 hour ride.
And you can visit Tikal for cheap, soak up the vibrant Mayan culture, and then return to Cay Caulker for a few days of sun and snorkeling, maximizing your budget efficiency.
And for travelers specifically looking for easy, swimmable, pristine beaches and slightly lower overall costs than Belize, we recommend looking at Roatan, Honduras.
The great thing about Roatan is the accessibility. The snorkeling is fantastic and often accessible directly from the beach at West Bay.
Oh, wow.
You can literally walk 50 feet into the water and be surrounded by vibrant reef life, eliminating the need for expensive boat charters for basic snorkeling.
However, we must reiterate the core reason for Belize's high premium: the sheer convenience. That cost is buying you English-speaking ease, stable currency, and incredibly short flight times from the US and Canada.
And for many, the time and effort saved are worth the extra $50 to $100 a day.
Time for the ultimate judgment call. Let's run through the final is it worth it matrix for our 4 traveler profiles.
First, the backpacker, 50-day max.
Verdict: NO. Skip it entirely.
Your time will be spent consumed by anxiety over money. You will miss the ATM cave and the best diving. You will feel limited and frustrated.
Go to Guatemala.
Your $50 goes much further in neighboring countries, where you can actually enjoy the culture and the activities.
Second, the mid-range couple. 150 to 250 day.
Verdict: yes. This is the sweet spot.
Absolutely worth it. This budget allows you to execute the high-value strategy, accept the rustic accommodation, but prioritize and aggressively budget for the world-class tours.
And we highly recommend splitting your time. 3 nights inland near San Ignacio and 4 nights on an island like Caye Caulker.
Third, the family trip.
Verdict: yes, with conditions.
Families should aim for Placencia. It is quieter, safer than San Pedro, and features a proper, multi-mile sidewalk and superior walkable beaches. We recommend renting a car for the convenience of exploring, but remember that warning about the unmarked speed bumps. Drive slowly and carefully.
And fourth, the luxury traveler.
Verdict, yes, absolutely.
For the luxury segment, Belize delivers seclusion and high service. Look into the private islands like Cayo Espanto or the legendary gorgeous jungle lodges managed by Francis Ford Coppola, places like Blancano or Turtle Inn.
These guarantee a secluded, highly curated experience, far removed from the golf cart noise of San Pedro.
So to synthesize our final actionable conclusion, Belize is fundamentally a high-cost, high-reward destination regarding its unique activities, the history, and the environment.
But, and this is the crucial distinction you must accept before booking, it is a high-cost, low-reward destination regarding infrastructure. You pay American prices for food and accommodation that is decidedly Central American in quality and rustic feel.
Come for the caves, the underworlds, and the reef, the underwater world. Accept the high price tag, the rustic nature of the towns, and the logistical necessity of bringing that industrial strength TT. If you plan correctly, the soul of the place will grab you.
Plan your transfers, avoid major moves on Sunday, bring that massive bottle of sunscreen, and for the love of comfort, do not attempt to spend time in Belize City.
Safe travels.
Given that the highest value experiences we discuss, like the profound experience of the ATM cave, are entirely focused on history, deep spirituality, and grueling physical challenge, and conversely, the highest cost experiences, like those private resorts, focus entirely on modern exclusivity and pampered seclusion. Where do you think the true, authentic soul of Belize lies for the modern traveler? In the ancient mysteries it protects or the modern exclusivity it provides?
Wow.
And if you were forced to make the mid-range budget work, which one of those non-negotiable high-cost activities, the $150 two-tank dive or the $125 ATM cave tour, would you cut first? Something to mull over as you start planning your high-reward, high-cost trip.
A fascinating dilemma that speaks to the heart of what travel means today. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
We'll catch you on the next one.